Ahmed Mitchell in Atlanta. He's a National Deputy Executive Director of the Council on American Islamic Relations. Edward, so the State Department's done this after a campaign from Laura Loomer, a known conspiracy theorist who I believe describes herself as, quote, a proud Islamophobe. What do you make of it?
This is pure insanity. Secretary Rubio was once considered a serious public official, but it appears he has given a notoriously unhinged anti-Muslim bigot, Laura Loomer, veto power over State Department policy. Mr. Rubio is banning Palestinian children who were injured by American weapons from seeking specialized medical care in America because of the likes of Laura Loomer. This is insanity. It's immoral. It is beyond cruel. And it's the latest piece of evidence that this administration is not pursuing an America first agenda. They are pursuing an Israel first agenda, and it must stop.
And Edward, as you mentioned, these are people coming from Gaza for medical humanitarian visas, people who really need to get out and possibly receive urgent medical treatment, given the state that we know the hospitals are in Gaza. So what's this going to mean for the children that we see on our screens, have seen for weeks and weeks now, months and months, who desperately need that treatment?
The irony here is that a relatively small number of Palestinian children have made it out of Gaza and to the United States for treatment. The Israeli government is killing scores of Palestinians, including children, every single week. And so the key thing that needs to happen is the genocide needs to stop, and the Palestinian people need to be able to live freely and safely on their own land independently. And in the meantime, those Palestinians who have been injured should be able to get out of Gaza and get medical care, including in the United States. Our nation, which has funded and enabled this genocide, has a special moral obligation to at least let these children come here for medical care. And again, the government is not paying for this medical care. The kids are coming to get medical treatment that is funded by independent organizations or given for free by medical associations. So we should, at the very least, be letting these kids come here to get treatment. We owe them that much. But the key thing is that the genocide has to stop, or you're going to see more kids who need this care. And that is just horrible, and it cannot go much longer.
And how damaging is it, Edward, when you see a policy shift like this being made based on a campaign from someone like Laura Loomer, some of the things she was saying about just complete misinformation about the children, some amputees arriving in the States and saying that they are affiliated with Hamas. What does that do in terms of the public how does that damage the public perspective on what's going on in Gaza?
Look, if the State Department really has given the likes of Laura Loomer and others veto power over their policies, then the inmates are running the asylum. This is completely unacceptable to have anti-Muslim extremists whipping up a frenzy on social media and immediately leading the U.S. Secretary of State, who is fourth in line to the presidency, to flip and change a government policy that made perfect sense, allowing Palestinian kids injured by American weapons to come to America for specialized care. And so what this does is lead to the question of who is running the United States government? Is the United States, my nation, an independent country, or are we an agent of the Israeli government? Are we a servant of anti-Muslim, anti-Palestinian bigots on social media? Again, the agenda that we are seeing from this administration is not America first, it is Israel first. And I think you're seeing many Americans, including many conservatives, getting really tired of this nonsense. Even people like Marjorie Taylor Greene have called out this insanity. And so there is a sea change happening in America, and it's time for elected officials, Democrats and Republicans, and the Trump administration to recognize that our nation does not want to be a servant of the Israeli government and does not want Laura Loomer controlling our nation's foreign policy.
Have you ever seen anything like this, the likes of someone like Laura Loomer influencing what the United States does in terms of its policy?
Well, ironically, there was a time when anti-Muslim bigots did have considerable influence in administrations. During the Bush administration, anti-Muslim bigots played some significant role there during the first Trump administration. And let's not forget, even in the Biden administration, there were people who I would consider anti-Palestinian extremists, Brett McGurk, Jake Sullivan, who helped to enable this genocide. And so, yes, you have seen times in which there were people who held extremely anti-Palestinian views influencing government policy. But I would say nothing like this, where someone so unhinged, so far outside of what you would ever call mainstream, is able to suddenly twist a government policy overnight. That is unprecedented. And again, this madness cannot go on. It must stop. And I think the American people want it to stop.
Edward Ahmed Mitchell, National Deputy Executive Director on the Council of American Islamic Relations. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.